The last beacon. The sky above Epsilon 9 was dark. Smoke and dust covered the sun. The ground was broken, filled with old battle scars. Metal parts, weapons, and bodies lay silent. It was the end of something, or maybe the beginning of something worse. Captain Mira Lane moved carefully through the ruins of the outpost. Her left leg was hurt. She limped, leaving a trail of blood on the cold ground. Her suit was torn, her gun almost out of power, and her food pack was empty. She had not seen another human face in 5 days. She stopped near a broken wall, sat down and pressed her back against it. She closed her eyes and whispered, "Anyone, please." Her radio was dead. The last message from HQ was full of static and screams. Since then, silence. The others from her team, dead, missing, or worse. The aliens didn't leave survivors. This outpost used to be full of life. Pilots, engineers, soldiers. Now only ghosts. The wind moved through the empty halls, carrying whispers of the past. Mira opened a small metal box near her. Inside was an old emergency beacon. One final signal. It would take all her power. She connected it to her wristband and set the message. "This is Captain Mira Lane, Unit 14. I am alive, requesting rescue. Repeat, requesting rescue. Location, Outpost Delta 7, Epsilon 9. Please respond." She pressed send. The light blinked once, twice. Then it turned red. Signal blocked. She muttered, "Of course. The enemy had jammers. They wanted no messages to reach Earth. They wanted the humans to feel truly alone." Mira leaned her head back and tried not to cry. She told herself, "Hold on. Someone will come." But in her heart, she didn't believe it. Suddenly, she heard a sound. A soft crunch like a footstep on broken glass. Her heart jumped. She grabbed her gun and aimed it at the hallway. The sound came again, closer this time. "Who's there?" she shouted, her voice shaking. No answer. Then from the shadows, a figure stepped forward. It was tall, wearing dark armor, human shape, but something was strange. The armor had glowing lines, blue and silver, unlike any human tech. Mira's hands shook. The figure stopped 5 feet away. It raised its hands slowly. No weapon. Then the helmet opened. Her eyes went wide. "Raze?" she whispered. It was him, Commander Raze Hunter, her old teammate, her friend. He had died 3 months ago during the battle at Sector 6. She saw his ship explode. She remembered crying over his name on the lost list. "How?" she began. "I survived," he said simply. His voice was calm, but there was a coldness in his eyes. She didn't lower her gun. "Prove it's really you." He gave a small nod. "The first time we met, I made a joke about your shoes. You kicked me." Mira blinked. Only he would remember that. Still, something felt wrong. "Where have you been?" she asked. "Prison ship," he replied. "They kept me alive. Tested. On me, used machines. But I escaped." "How?" "I'll tell you later, but right now we don't have time. This area isn't safe. They'll come." Mira looked around. It was true. If he found her, others could too. She finally lowered her weapon but didn't put it away. Raze helped her stand. His armor was warm. Too warm. As they moved out, she looked at him carefully. He moved like Raze. Spoke like Raze. But there was something cold, something distant, like a part of him was different now. They found a small shelter in the old command room. Mira sat near a corner while Raze checked the doors. "We need to reach the tower," he said. "It's the only way to send a full signal to Earth." Mira nodded. "I tried, signal blocked. I can fix that," he replied. "How do you know?" she asked, eyes narrowing. He looked at her, then slowly opened his arm panel. A small screen appeared showing alien code. "Because I learned their systems." Mira's blood went cold. "What are you?" Raze didn't answer. Then outside, a loud sound, like metal wings. An enemy drone flew past, scanning. It turned toward them. Reyes stepped forward, lifted his arm, and pointed it at the drone. A pulse of energy shot out. The drone froze in place, then turned around and flew away. Mira stared. No human tech could do that. She felt her heart race. She thought she was alone. Now she wasn't sure what she had found, or who had found her. Ghost in the armor. The wind outside howled like a wounded animal. Broken steel panels creaked above the ruined outpost, and far in the distance a strange sound echoed, like metal grinding against bone. Captain Mira Lane sat against the cold wall of the control room watching Reyes. He wasn't sleeping. He didn't blink much. He just sat there, armor still glowing faintly, staring at the wall like he was listening to something no one else could hear. Mira felt the cut on her arm throb. She needed rest. She needed food. But more than that, she needed answers. She whispered, "You're not the same." Reyes looked at her. His eyes were darker now, less human, still intelligent, still familiar, but not warm. Not like before. "No," he said. "I'm not." He stood and walked to the edge of the room, pulling back a rusted metal panel. Behind it was a hidden locker. Inside, maps, energy cells, and a strange device. It looked alien. Smooth, black metal with blue lights pulsing along its edge. "What is that?" Mira asked, slowly getting to her feet. "A gift," he said, "from the enemy." Mira raised her gun again. "You said you escaped." "I did." "Then why are you carrying their tech?" Reyes didn't flinch. "Because it works, and because we need it." Mira didn't lower her weapon. "You died." "Reyes," she said, "I saw it, we all did. Now you come back with alien armor, alien knowledge, and a gift? Do you know what this looks like?" Reyes stepped forward slowly. "I know how it looks. But you need to understand what we're up against. The war we thought we were fighting is over. The real battle hasn't started yet." "What are you talking about?" He crouched and activated the alien device. A hologram appeared. Blue light forming the image of a massive structure floating in space. A hive ship. "This is their main ship," he said. "Hidden just outside our solar system. It's not coming. It's already here. Waiting." Mira stared at it. The ship was larger than any human base. It looked like a planet, but alive. Breathing. Reyes continued. "They didn't come to invade. They came to harvest." "Harvest what?" she whispered. "Us." Long silence followed. Then Reyes stood and handed her a small drive. "This has recordings from the prison ship. Human prisoners. Experiments, mind control. Implants." Mira didn't want to take it, but she did. "How did you escape?" "They made a mistake. I was dying, so they threw me in a recovery pod. I woke up before the process finished. I broke out, stole this armor, and ran." Mira narrowed her eyes. "Or maybe they let you go." Reyes gave a small smile, sad and tired. "That's what I keep asking myself." Suddenly, lights blinked on her wrist monitor. Movement. Outside. Not one, multiple. Mira and Reyes both turned to the door. The drone had returned, but this time it brought friends. 5 mechanical scouts floated just outside the ruins, scanning in every direction. Reyes didn't hesitate. "We need to move, now." They rushed through the broken hallway, avoiding the eyes of the drones. Reyes moved faster than any normal human. His body glided with precision, silent as a ghost. Mira followed, her steps heavier, slower. He stopped suddenly and held out a hand. She froze. Above them, 2 drones hovered. Reyes tapped his arm panel. A quiet pulse went out. The drones paused, then turned away. "You're controlling them," she said, breathless. "I'm fooling them," he replied. "Big difference." They reached a small underground tunnel. It led to an old launch pad, abandoned before the invasion. Inside it was quiet. Too quiet. Mira sat down, trying to catch her breath. Reyes stood at the center, scanning a wall with his alien device. I have a plan, he said. There's a signal jammer tower 5 miles west. If we destroy it, you can send your message to Earth. What about you? She asked. I'll draw the drones away. That's suicide. Maybe. But I'm not like you anymore, Mira. If I can use what they gave me to help humanity, then maybe I earn the right to come back. Mira didn't know what to say. She looked down at her gun, then back at him. Why me? She asked. Why come back for me? Reyes didn't answer at first. Then he walked over and handed her something. It was a small photo, faded and worn, a picture of their squad, all 12 of them, smiling. Before the war, before the death. You were the best of us, he said. You still are. Mira stared at the photo. 10 of those faces were now gone, except hers, and Reyes. If he really was Reyes. Suddenly, a loud bang echoed through the tunnels. The ground shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. They found us, Reyes said calmly. He handed her a second device. Place this on the tower. It will disable the jammer. What will you do? I'll lead them away. Mira grabbed his arm. You better come back. He looked into her eyes. No promises. She ran into the shadows of the tunnel, heading west. Behind her, Reyes turned toward the sound of the machines. His armor glowed brighter. His hands pulsed with energy. The ghost in the armor had returned. But this time, he wasn't sure whose side he was really on. The enemy within. The tunnel was cold and silent. Captain Mira Lane moved carefully through the dark path, one hand on the wall, the other holding the alien device Reyes gave her. Each step echoed in the quiet. Her heart beat loud in her ears. She had questions. Too many questions. What really happened to Reyes during those lost months? Why could he control enemy tech? And most of all, was he really on her side? Above ground, the planet groaned under heavy machines. Alien drones hovered through the skies. Their light scanned ruins, searching for life or something worse. Mira finally reached the end of the tunnel. A steel door blocked her path, rusted and dented. She pushed it open with effort, stepping out into pale blue light. Before her stood the communication jammer tower, tall, black, and humming with strange energy. But something was wrong. There were no guards. No drones. Nothing. Too easy. She approached slowly, checking her scanner. The signal was strong. The tower was definitely working. If she could place the device, she could finally reach Earth. She took one more step. Click. Her foot landed on something, metal. Her eyes went wide. A trap. But it didn't explode. Instead, the ground beneath her gave way and she dropped. She hit the floor hard, rolling into a cold underground chamber. Lights flickered. Strange symbols were painted on the walls, human letters mixed with alien ones. Mira pulled herself up, holding her side. She heard footsteps, and then a voice. Well, the famous Captain Lane. From the shadows, a tall figure stepped forward, human, wearing Earth military armor. But the symbol on his chest wasn't hers. It was the mark of Command Corps 1, Earth's secret war group, the same group that sent her squad to die months ago. The man smiled. You made it farther than I thought. Mira raised her gun. Who are you? Colonel Varen, he said. We met once, briefly, before your squad was removed. Removed? He nodded slowly. You were never meant to survive Epsilon 9. She stepped back. You planned. The attack? No, but I knew it would happen, and I let it. Why? He walked closer. Because the war was already lost. We knew the aliens would win, so we made a deal. Mira's stomach turned. What deal? Varen smiled wider. Exchange knowledge for peace, give them human minds, human leaders, in return Earth stays standing. Controlled, yes, but alive. You sold us. I saved us. Mira pulled the trigger. Click. Empty. Varen held up her ammo clip. You dropped this when you fell. He threw it aside. You're not leaving, Captain. Mira looked around. There were no weapons, no exits. Then she remembered. Her wrist beacon. Ray's device. She tapped it twice. No response. Meanwhile, far from the tower, Ray stood in the ruins of an old fuel station. Dozens of drones circled above, searching. He closed his eyes. He could feel them, not see, not hear, feel. They were part of him now. Ever since the prison ship, ever since the implant, he hated it, and yet, it kept him alive. Suddenly, he felt a sharp signal, a distress ping. Mira. He opened his eyes. She found the tower. He whispered, but she wasn't alone. Back underground, Varen showed Mira a screen. On it, images flashed. Test chambers, prisoners, soldiers strapped to machines, human memories being copied. You're building a mind control system, she said. We're building harmony, Varen replied. No more wars, no more fear. The aliens call it unity. One mind, one rule. And what about freedom? Freedom is a virus, he said coldly. Suddenly, alarms blared. Red lights flashed. Varen turned. No. From the shadows, something moved. Rays. He stepped into the room, armor glowing, eyes burning. You should have killed me when you had the chance, he said. Varen pulled a blaster from his side. You're not human anymore. No, Rays said. But I remember what you did. They clashed. Blasts flew across the room. Mira dove for cover. Sparks exploded. Rays moved like lightning, his hands glowing with energy, deflecting every shot. Varen was fast, trained, brutal. But Rays was something else now. Part man, part machine, part vengeance. In a final move, Rays disarmed him, slamming him against the wall. Varen fell, coughing. It's not over, he gasped. They're already here, Earth is next. Mira stepped over and stared into his eyes. You gave them everything, but they'll still destroy you. Varen laughed, blood dripping from his lips. They don't want destruction, they want control, and now they have it. Later, as the sun began to rise over the shattered world, Mira and Rays stood at the top of the tower. The jammer was destroyed. The message had been sent. Rays looked at the burning sky. You were right to doubt me. I still do, Mira said quietly. He gave a soft smile. Good. She turned to him. That implant in your head, can it be removed? No, but I can fight it, for now. What happens when you lose? Rays looked down. Then you'll have to kill me. As they stared at the sky, a signal returned. Earth Command. Message received. Reinforcements inbound. ETA, 72 hours. Hold position. Mira lowered the device and looked at Rays. 72 hours, she said. Can we make it? He looked toward the horizon. They'll come in waves, stronger than before, smarter. She loaded her weapon. Then let's be smarter too. Rays nodded. We fight. Together. But deep in the back of his mind, something whispered, a soft voice. Cold. Ancient. Not human. Unit 7 online. Memory link complete. Rays blinked. The voice faded. For now. But Mira noticed the change in his face. And she knew. The real enemy might not be outside anymore. It might be inside the man standing next to her. Signaled to nowhere, the signal was sent. The jammer tower was gone, but no answer came. Not for hours. Captain Mira Lane stared at the silent screen. The message had been confirmed as sent, but Earth wasn't speaking. Rays stood nearby, quiet, still. His armor pulsed gently in the shadows. He hadn't spoken much since their fight with Varen. Mira didn't trust silence. She checked her wrist monitor again. Nothing. Static. One message. No updates, no coordinates, no reinforcement pattern. Why won't they respond? She asked aloud, more to herself than to Reyes. They heard it, Reyes said. I'm sure. Then where are they? He didn't answer. They had set up shelter, inside a fallen cargo ship near the edge of the crater. Mira covered the broken door with metal scraps and set motion sensors around the entry. She was tired. Not just in her body, but in her bones. In her heart. Reyes was watching the sky, unmoving. Mira sat down and opened the drive he gave her, the one with recordings from the alien prison, footage played on her visor, soldiers strapped to tables, whispering words that weren't their own, screaming, then silence. Long pauses between flashes of human and alien code blending together, then came the final file. Subject 27, Commander Reyes Hunter. Mira paused. She took a breath and played the file. The screen showed Reyes, unconscious, floating in a tank. Wires in his skull. Tubes in his spine. Alien scientists walked around him, speaking through mechanical clicks. The translator tried to keep up. Hybrid ready. Memory transfer 78% complete. Emotional resistance higher than expected. Prepare override failsafe. Install voice seed. Mira's stomach twisted. Voice seed. That meant control. Reyes turned suddenly as if he heard something. His eyes locked onto her. What are you watching? She shut the screen. Just old logs. He walked over. Play it. I already did. Mira. His voice was calm, but sharp, not angry. Focused. She looked up at him. You didn't tell me about the override. I didn't think I needed to. You still don't know if they're inside your head, do you? He was silent for a moment. Then, no. Mira stood. Then how can I trust you? You can't. He stepped closer. But I gave you the drive. I told you what they did. I didn't have to. She backed away. Or maybe you did, she said. Maybe they wanted me to see it. Maybe you're just leading me where they want me to go. You think I'm a weapon, Reyes said quietly. I think you're both, she replied. He didn't argue. That night, Mira didn't sleep. Neither did Reyes. Sometime near dawn, she heard something outside the ship, a voice not loud, soft, human. Help. Mira sat up quickly and checked her monitor. No movement. She heard it again. Help. Please. She grabbed her gun and stepped outside. The dust storm was clearing. The sky glowed pale red. She moved around the ship carefully. Nothing. Then, she saw it. Someone crawling across the dirt. A soldier. Human armor. Earth logo. Hold on, she shouted, running toward him. She knelt beside him. Where did you come from? What unit? He looked up, face covered in blood. Then he whispered. There, inside him. What? They're inside your friend. Suddenly, his eyes turned black. Mira jumped back, but it was too late. The soldier exploded into a mass of silver shards like liquid knives. They moved toward her in a wave. Before she could fire, Reyes appeared. His armor sent out a shockwave, freezing the metal in place. He crushed it beneath his feet. Why did you follow the voice? He asked. It sounded human. It wasn't. Mira stood, shaking. They're mimicking us now? They've always been able to. They just didn't need to until now. He turned to her, serious. They know your message got through. They're trying to stop what comes next. Later that day, Mira finally got a second message from Earth. But it wasn't a rescue plan. It was a warning. Do not trust Hunter. Subject, flagged. Neural breach confirmed. Repeat, neural breach confirmed. Terminate on sight. Mira stared at the words. Terminate on sight. She looked over at Reyes. He was sitting by the ship, scanning the horizon, unaware. Her hand moved to her sidearm. She stopped. Not yet. That evening, Mira and Reyes walked toward an old command relay. It might have more data, more answers. The road was quiet, burned black. Mira said nothing for a while. Then, "Do you remember our last mission together?" Reyes nodded. "Sector 6. You told me to run. You didn't. You said you'd cover me. I did. You didn't survive." He stopped walking. "I thought about dying there," he said. "Sometimes I wonder if I did." She looked at him. "Then what are you now?" "I don't know." She finally asked the question she feared most. "If they gave you a command, would you know?" He took a long breath. "No." They reached the command relay. Inside were bones, dust, empty screens. But one screen still blinked. Mira tapped it. It showed satellite footage, orbit above Earth. Something was wrong. Huge black shapes were moving near the moon. Not human ships, alien ones. Dozens. Reyes walked up behind her. "They're not waiting anymore," he said. "They're coming." Suddenly, the screen flickered. Message appeared, typed in real time. "Hello, Captain." She stepped back. "He cannot hear this. Only you. You must kill him before sunrise, or you will doom your species." Mira reached for the keyboard. "Who are you?" The reply came instantly. "We are inside the message you sent. We are already in orbit. He is our bridge. Kill him." The screen went black. Outside, the sun was dying behind the dust clouds. Reyes was standing near the ridge watching the stars. Mira stepped behind him, gun in hand. A tear rolled down her cheek. "You said you'd tell me if you changed." He didn't turn around. "I know." She raised the weapon, but before she could fire, he spoke. "I heard them." She froze. "I heard everything. Just now." The message wasn't private. It was a test. He turned to face her. His eyes were wet. "They want you to kill me, because I'm the only one who can stop them." Mira lowered the gun, shaking. "Then prove it," she whispered. He nodded. "I will." But far above, in the sky, no one could see clearly. The first of the black ships began to descend. The war had never ended. It had only just begun. Truth from the dead night fell like a slow, suffocating curtain. Captain Mira Lane and Reyes stood inside the ruined command relay. The screen was dead now, blacked out after the alien message. Outside, the wind howled across the empty fields. The stars above were hidden behind heavy ash clouds. The silence was deep and wrong. Not peaceful. Empty. Like the world itself was holding its breath. Mira had not slept in 2 days. Not really. Her body was weak, but her mind burned. Questions circled like vultures. Could she still trust Reyes? Was the message from Earth real? Were the ships above already preparing to strike? She looked at him. He was sitting alone away from her, facing the dark horizon. He hadn't moved in over an hour, just sat there like a statue or a machine. Suddenly her wrist monitor beeped. A new file. Unlocked. From Reyes Hunter. Subject. File locked by deceased. General Hawkamira frowned. General Hawk had been one of Earth's top war leaders, publicly declared dead 6 months ago, killed in an orbital attack, but this file was recent. She played it. Video playback. Classified memory record. The screen showed Hawk, alive. He sat in a dim room, eyes heavy, beard grown. He looked tired, broken. "If you're seeing this, then I'm already dead or worse." He leaned forward. "This war was never about planets, not really, it was about minds." Mira leaned closer. "They don't need armies. They just need access. And we gave it to them." He paused. "They infected us through our own command systems. Memory chips, neural links, even dreams. We thought we were fighting a physical war, but they were already inside our leaders." He showed a scan. Military commanders with implants, some without ever knowing it. Then he said the name that stopped Mira's heart. Reyes Hunter was the only one who resisted full takeover. The process failed, but his memories were used, cloned, duplicated. One real, The others? Puppets. Mira's throat dried. There may be more than one Rays. The screen flickered. Though, file ended. Mira's hand trembled as she turned toward Rays. He was still staring into the night. She slowly approached him. Rays, she said quietly. He looked back, eyes blank at first, then slowly focusing. I found a file, she said, from General Hawk. He nodded. I know. I unlocked it for you. You knew? I remembered things I shouldn't. Words and languages I've never spoken. Faces I never met. But they were mine. He stood. There's a copy of me out. There, maybe more. One of them is fully turned. Mira stepped back. Then how do I know you're the real one? He looked at her, and for once there was pain in his eyes. Real pain. You don't. The next morning, they followed coordinates found in the file, hidden deep in the wasteland. The final proof, Hawk had said. A secret vault. They traveled, in silence. Mira walked behind Rays, never letting go of her weapon. After 5 hours, they reached it, a bunker buried beneath the sand. Old Earth steel, no alien tech. Real. They entered. Inside were cryopods. At least 10. In one of them, Mira froze. Rays, same face, same scar, same suit. Frozen. Sleeping. She turned to the Rays beside her. He stared at the pod, face pale. That's me, he whispered. The real me. Then who are you? He didn't answer, because neither of them knew. Suddenly the vault shook. The power flickered. Then the lights turned red. A robotic voice filled the chamber. Infection detected, purge initiated. Mira ran to the console. Someone triggered a defense protocol. It's not someone, Rays said. It's me, or it's what's inside me. The door slammed shut. Gas hissed from the vents. We have 5 minutes before the entire vault is sterilized, he said. Mira looked at the sleeping Rays in the pod. This version might have the full memory. I can't wake him in time, Rays said. But you can take his chip. It's behind the base of his skull. She looked at him. You're asking me to cut open your own head? I'm asking you to choose the truth. She hesitated, then opened the panel and pulled the chip free. It was warm, glowing slightly, but before she could load it into her scanner, Rays collapsed to his knees. Get back, he shouted. His armor cracked. His eyes went black. He screamed. Mira raised her gun. The voice returned inside the room. Voice seed activated. Command override. Engage target. Rays stood, face twisted. But something inside him fought back. He turned to her, gasping. Run. I'll hold it off. I'm not leaving you. You might already be leaving me. Mira pressed the chip to her scanner. A video played, Hawk again. There's one more thing. The alien voice. It's not one mind. It's many. A network. And some of them are breaking away. Some of them are helping us. He looked behind him, eyes wide. The Rays you trust may have a voice of his own now. Mira looked at Rays, shaking, breathing hard. He wasn't attacking, he was resisting. She dropped the chip and ran to him. Fight it, she said. You're stronger than this. His hands shook. Blood came from his nose. I don't know who I am. You're Rays. The man who saved me. The man who gave me the truth. His eyes flickered. Say it again, he whispered. You're Rays. You're my comrade. You came back. He fell to his knees again. The darkness in his eyes faded. The vault alarm stopped. The door opened, and for the first time in days the wind carried no sound, only stillness. That night, they buried the clone body in the sand. I don't want to become that, Rays said. You won't, Mira replied, because you remember what he forgot. What's that? She looked at him. Me. But deep in orbit above Earth, the alien fleet circled silently. In the heart of the largest ship, another version of Rays stood before a glowing screen. His eyes were black, his voice cold. Target resistance rising. Infection incomplete. Proceed with planetary strike? A moment of pause. Then the black-eyed Rays spoke. Not yet. Let's see how far they're willing to go for hope. Last stand protocol. The skies above Epsilon 9 were no longer empty. They were full of silent giants. Dozens of alien ships now floated just outside Earth's atmosphere, each one dark and cold, until they weren't. Their surfaces began to glow, lines of red energy crawling like veins across their hulls. Earth's defense satellites tried to ping them. No response. Just silence. The kind of silence that meant death. On the surface, in the ruins of Outpost Delta 7, Captain Mira Lane and Rays stood over a holographic map, displayed from a field projector. The relay chip Mira had pulled from the frozen Rays revealed a final location. An ancient TerraCore station buried under the mountains north of the crater fields. Once used to power Earth's deep space colonies, it was now believed abandoned, but it wasn't. According to the data, the TerraCore housed a secret override system built by Earth's original architects, scientists who feared AI domination and alien control long before war ever started. It was a last resort weapon. Protocol Echo 9, a planetary firewall designed to cut Earth off from all external signals, permanently, including alien minds, including Rays. You're not going to like this, Mira said, tracing the lines on the holomap. Let me guess, Rays replied. I go into the heart of the system and don't come out. Mira looked at him, her eyes heavy with unspoken pain. It'll wipe everything the aliens ever touched. Your implants, their network, but it'll erase you too. He smiled faintly. So I finally get a choice. It's not fair, she said. You didn't ask for this. No, he said, but maybe I can end it. The journey to the mountains took a full day. They rode in a half-functional crawler powered by solar cells. Along the way, they passed broken cities, dry oceans, and silent skies. The earth beneath their wheels felt hollow, like it knew something terrible was about to begin. Rays didn't say much, but Mira saw the change in him. He wasn't just fighting the voice anymore. He was fighting the weight of a future that wouldn't include him. That night, they made camp near the TerraCore entrance, hidden beneath rock and steel. A cold wind blew down from the hills. Mira sat beside the small heater, watching Rays as he checked the wires on his arm panel. His hands were trembling. Are you scared? She asked. No, he replied. But I don't want to die without knowing what I really was. You were human, she said. Even if your body changed, even if your mind was touched. He looked at her. Then why do I feel like something else is still inside me, waiting to take over? She didn't have an answer. So she reached into her pack and pulled out a small item. It was his old dog tag, the one she'd found back in Part 1. She tossed it to him. Rays caught it, stared at it for a long time, then hung it around his neck. Let's finish this, he said. They entered the TerraCore station at dawn. Massive steel doors opened slowly, powered by backup fusion cells. The air inside smelled old, dry like a tomb. The walls were covered in vines and moss, life finding its way through ruin, but deeper in the structure became clean. Cold, unnatural. Alien tech had reached here. The override system still existed, but it had been changed, adapted, trapped. In the heart of the core chamber, a tall cylinder pulsed with red light. Rays approached it carefully. The alien network was active here, pushing against the firewall but not yet breaking through. If they didn't act fast, it would collapse. Suddenly, Mira's monitor beeped. Incoming transmission. She opened it. A voice spoke. Her voice. Hello. Mira. She froze. It was her exact voice, same tone, same words. We know you've come here to end us. We know you plan to burn the link. But you forget. We are already inside you. Mira stepped back. I didn't give you anything. You did. When you sent your message, you opened the last door. He is already changing again. Listen to his heartbeat. Listen to how it slows. Ray's groaned behind her, falling to his knees. His skin glowed faintly. No, no. You fight it, she shouted, running to him. He is not Ray's, not anymore. He is our message to Earth. And if you kill him, you kill hope. Ray's looked up at Mira, eyes flickering between human and black. Mira, he gasped. I'm losing. It's pushing hard. She held his face. Listen to me, you're stronger than them, you always were. I don't know where I end and they begin. Then let me remind you. She pressed her forehead to his. You are Ray's hunter. You died to save others. You came back to stop them. You are not a puppet. You are a soldier. He blinked. His breath steadied. Then he smiled. Then let's give them something to remember. Ray stood and placed his hand on the TerraCore interface. The machine spoke. Override protocol Echo 9 requires dual authorization. He looked at Mira. She nodded. They placed their hands on opposite ends of the console. Authorization accepted. Final warning. Full system burn will erase all networked neural signatures, including active hybrids. Proceed? Mira looked at him one last time. He nodded. Let me go, he said softly. She whispered. You already did. Then she pressed confirm. The system exploded with light. A pulse shot out, ripping through the station, through the mountains, across the sky. In orbit, the alien ships blinked. Some shut down completely. Others veered off course. The network was gone, disconnected, silent. When Mira woke up, she was alone. The console was burned. The room was cracked. The light outside was real again. Warm. She stepped outside. No voice in her head. No rays beside her. Only silence. Real silence. Peaceful silence. She looked up. A single message blinked on her wrist screen. Reinforcements arriving in 1 hour. Earth had heard, but she had already lost everything, or maybe she'd just given it all away for a future worth living in. Far away, deep inside a forgotten lab, a second heartbeat echoed. A backup file, a shadow, a whisper. Eyes opened in the dark, and Rays breathed again. Not the end. The skies above, Epsilon 9, were clear for the first time in months. No alien warships, no static, just a single sound in the distance, the hum of engines. Mira Lane stood on a cliff edge, watching Earth's dropships descend through the clouds. The rescue fleet. They were late. They were just in time. Her armor was cracked. Her eyes were dry. Her pulse was calm, but inside, she was broken in places no scanner could detect. She whispered, under her breath, he did it. The override pulse had worked. The alien network was gone. Earth was safe, for now, but at a cost. Commander Ray's hunter was gone. At least the version of him she had fought beside. The one who chose to die free. Instead of live as their weapon, the medics arrived first. Then the command officers. Then the questions. They wrapped Mira in a heat blanket, scanned her vitals, and uploaded her mission logs. She let them. She didn't care. Let the world know what happened. But when they asked her about Rays, she hesitated. He died saving the planet, she said. That was the truth and not the whole truth. Hours later, she sat in the rear of a command shuttle heading back to orbit. Earth Command had cleared the airspace. The alien remnants were being hunted down. Celebrations had already started across the planet, but Mira couldn't celebrate, because as she left Epsilon 9 behind, she felt like something was still watching. Back on Earth, Mira became a symbol, the last voice of Epsilon 9. She gave speeches, appeared in broadcasts, stood in front of broken families and told them their loved ones didn't die for nothing. The war was over, she was told. Victory had a cost, but peace had been earned. And still, she didn't believe it. Every time she looked at the stars, she saw him. Rays. And every time she walked past a screen showing her own face, she wondered, was this what he died for? Or was this just part of the next game? One night, nearly a month later, Mira received a private message, encrypted, untraceable. It contained only 3 things: a still image of an empty lab on Luna Station 3, a biosign reading, Subject 27, status, unknown. An audio clip, 5 seconds of breathing, his breathing. She got clearance the next day. Nobody asked too many questions anymore. She was a war hero. The system trusted her. Maybe it shouldn't have. Luna Station 3 was supposed to be offline. An old cloning and memory backup facility, abandoned after the AI revolts 20 years ago. But when Mira stepped into the cold, dark hallways, she felt it, a presence. Not alien, not quite human. Something in between. She moved carefully, hand on her weapon, every light flickering above her. The doors responded to her DNA. Someone had prepared this. For her. In the deepest chamber, past rows of silent tanks and cracked screens, she found it. A pod, occupied. Heart rate steady. Brainwaves, active. Rays or something wearing his face. He opened his eyes. Looked at her. No fear, no confusion. Just stillness. Then he said one word. Mira. She didn't draw her weapon. Not yet. Which one are you? She asked. He tilted his head. Don't know. She stepped closer. You remember me? Yes. You remember the override system? The sacrifice? I remember pain. I remember you crying. I remember letting go. He sat up inside the pod. But I also remember something else. What? He looked into her eyes. I wasn't alone. Mira froze. What do you mean? There was another inside the network. A voice. Like mine. It helped me break free. It knew me. But it wasn't me. You're saying, he nodded. I think I was never one person. I was a copy of a copy. But that voice? It might be the original. Before Mira could answer, alarms rang. The station was locking down. Who activated it? She asked. Ray's expression darkened. Not me. A screen lit up behind her, a symbol she hadn't seen in months. Command Core 1. Then a message. Subject 27 retrieval confirmed. Do not allow escape. New directive, reassimilation. Mira's blood ran cold. They weren't celebrating peace, they were resetting the board. Control. Again. But this time, they wanted to use Ray's not as a soldier, but as a blueprint. They ran through the station, dodging security drones and locked doors. Ray's moved with the same grace, same speed, but Mira noticed something new. He hesitated. At each decision point, left or right, up or down, he paused. Not from confusion, from conflict. Something inside him was still fighting. They reached the core deck. She turned to him. Can I still trust you? He looked at her. I don't know, but I know I want to protect you, and that's enough for now. They fought their way through 2 more drone waves, reached the escape bay, and launched a stolen pod into open space. Once free of the station's net, Mira sent a final encrypted message back to Earth. You lied. He's alive, and I'm keeping him free. The pod drifted past Saturn's rings. They sat in silence, watching the stars. Mira finally asked, If we find the original, what then? Ray's answered without looking at her. Then we ask him what side he's really on. 1 year later, in a secret sector beyond known space, a signal played on loop. This is Ray's Hunter. I am not your enemy. I am not your weapon. I am your mirror. And if you come for me, be ready to face yourselves. Somewhere deep inside the black, on a hidden moon, 2 versions of the same soul prepared for the next war. But only one of them would survive it. And Mira, she loaded, Her rifle smiled faintly and said, "Told you it wasn't the end."